Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone, for being here, especially those that came with us from Chicago. Disappointing loss. Had every opportunity to find a way to finish the game, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Some critical mistakes down the stretch were obviously very costly, but credit Frosty's team and their group. We knew we'd get a valiant fight from them. Last week was not indicative of their team at all. They ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw, and the Buckeyes played really well. So I tip my hat and compliment Scott. He's doing a great job, and obviously we got to eliminate our mistakes if we want to find a way to win. So very disappointed loss. But any questions I can answer, please?
No. Coach, what did you think about that non-pass interference call on the interception?
It looked from my vantage point like it wasn't very good. I don't know. What did you guys see?
Same thing.
Okay. It's bang-bang play, and then it was bang-bang missed, it looked like to me. It's a big play in the game.
And the coverage.
I'd like to be able to throw a red flag. Wouldn't that have been cool? I probably would have won that.
And the coverage bus going the other way.
It wasn't a coverage bust. We're in 3 deep. We're in umbrella coverage, and the corner's got to come off and make the play. Practice it every week. Disappointing.
Okay. What went into the decision to start Aiden and play him the entire game, and what do you think of him?
Yeah, I thought he played really well. I thought he prepared really well, and he was ready to go right away from the get-go. I thought he handled some things well, some initial adversity, but, first start, I thought he handled it great. Obviously, last week Hunter got banged up, and we want to make sure that we're being smart and, giving guys ample opportunity to heal up and get themselves ready to go for the whole year. And, so Aiden was ready, and he took the ball and ran with it, so I'm really proud of him.
When did you make that decision to start Aiden?
Before kickoff?
When
It's none of your guys' business. What exact time would you like? The day?
or just like
Yesterday.
Was it today or?
No, it was yesterday.
Okay, and what Hunter said? You told him.
Okay, Coach, thanks. I'll be ready to go.
So was it at all a result of Hunter's injury, or was it
Yeah,
all just?
that's what I said.
Yeah.
It's because of his knee.
Okay. If Aiden had to come out, would Hunter have been still the next guy up?
I think so. But then again, I don't know. I mean, we felt pretty confident that he might be able to play in a limited role, but we didn't think he could go the whole game, so that was the decision.
What were you seeing from the Nebraska defenses that we keep it with the quarterback and get some big plays off of that? Was there something new that they showed? Or
They showed plenty of new wrinkles, which, compliment them. They did a nice job. I thought we settled in and found some solutions and some answers probably midway through the second quarter of exactly what they were doing and how they were doing it. And then, we had some busts a little bit down the stretch, and we got to come up with some other answers too, to make people, continue to be honest. So I thought Aiden gave us some stuff today. I thought he played really hard, and I can't blame him for that last one. That's a tough call.
Your defense, another great showing from them. Nebraska was throwing lots that were different from the previous teams you faced before. So what was your game plan against them, and how would you actually handle it?
Yeah, I think for the most part it was pretty sound and pretty solid. They threw a couple new things at us that I thought we adjusted to pretty well. And it happens every week. It happened last week. It's happened every week of the season. And I thought our guys handled it well. We just didn't create any turnovers, and that's the key, especially against Nebraska. They had in their losses had turned the ball over, and to their credit today, they didn't do that. So that's really disappointing because it's something that we talk about, and it's usually the number one correlation to victory. Obviously, outside of points, is turnover ratio. And when you lose it 1-0 and you lose it on the last drive of the game, it kind of makes it pretty tough. There are a couple different ways I thought about playing there at the end, but their kicking situation has been, quite frankly, not great. That's not rocket science, right? So I felt like our defense would be able to get a stop, and I thought we were pretty close to blocking the field goal. It was pretty low trajectory, but I was going to put it on our defense to get the stop. That's what our thought process was there at the end.
Nebraska broke out that I formation last week against
Yeah.
Ohio State a couple drives. Is that
Yeah.
something you were really expecting more of today?
I don't know if I would say more of. I mean, we expected to see compliments off of it. I think I saw Coach say during the week that, with the way that the game went last week, they weren't able to run all their plays that they had schematically prepared. So, Hank has been a defensive coordinator for longer than everybody added up your ages in this room. So, we just go back to some of the things. I brought up some plays that when I was at Colorado as a GA that, we got ready to defend when we played some option teams. You don't see it that much, so you just got to go back and work on some of those things. So the over route that we saw from the tight end was actually a route that I expected to see. So it was one I made our coaches practice this week. So, but it's Nebraska, so I think it's pretty cool that Frosty's running it.
You guys made a lot of tackles in open space today. What do you think the way your team's grown from week one to now in terms of making tackles, making
Yeah, again, I don't think going from week 1 to now it's been a team problem. I think it's maybe been a couple individuals, right? And I think those guys have worked really hard at it, really, really hard at it. So, it's something we work on every day, and I'm proud of the way the guys are continuing to work on it and get better at it.
Wendell Robinson kind of was thrown at you guys in a lot of different
Yep.
looks. Does he remind you of anyone you've faced before?
I think he's a really talented guy. He's got loose hips. He's able to make you miss in space. He got JR a couple times, which, you knew he's going to be able to make some plays, and he's an explosive athlete. I thought, from a kickoff return standpoint, I think we bottled him up pretty good today because he's definitely a weapon in that phase. And I thought our special teams, again, outside of unfortunate miss, I thought we played really solid ball today and gave ourselves a chance to win through the field position battle. And a really windy kind of, that played a role in the game, I thought.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just glad it blew the right way, and I'll leave that to you guys. Anything else? Yeah, please.
If Hunter's injury is what kept him out of the game, why wasn't he on the injury report release yesterday?
Next question.
Okay. Going into this bye week, what do you think the number one thing that your team has to improve upon?
They got to stick together. That's the number one thing. We're fighting our butts off. We've lost 4 games, and this is no disrespect to Frosty's guys. A turnover late, inability to get off the field cost us a game, and they made a couple plays, but we can't have those mistakes happen and expect to win in a close game. So we've beaten ourselves too many times, and it starts and ends with me. I got to get that fixed, and we're going to work relentlessly on that. Promise you that.
So, you said that a lot basically every week, that it starts with the coaches.
Mhm.
So what exactly does that mean? Like, what do the coaches need to do?
Well, you got to coach your guys better. I mean, if you guys ever think I'm going to stand at a podium and drive a bus over a player, you guys are out of your minds, okay? You're out of your minds. We're going to coach the guys better to play cleaner, to play smarter, to play fundamentally better, not make mistakes. That's what it means. So you work your butt off. I mean, eventually you'll be a father. It's the same thing as a dad. When your kid doesn't do the right stuff, you just keep grinding on him to make him be a better kid. And that's exactly what that means. So I'm never going to blame our guys. We got to coach them better, and I've been doing that for 14 years. We've won a ton of games, and we typically win this type of game when we don't beat ourselves. But that's typically what it means. You roll your sleeves up, you go to work. It starts with my attitude that permeates through the whole program, and I'll just be absolutely relentless in the way that I'm going about being positive, because this team's fighting their butt off. And I hope that, like hell, they don't listen to anybody outside of our program, because everybody outside of it's clueless how hard they're working. They're not playing well enough. They get that. They understand that. But they're working their butts off to improve. And that can't stop. That can't stop. So we just got to keep the pedal down with that, and the breaks will come our way if we stick together. If we don't stick together, then it'll be a long year. It'll be a long year, and I'd be heartbroken for our seniors. But I don't see that happening with our leadership.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
What do you think about the offensive line, especially with Sean Slater being out? How do you think they stepped up?
Well, I thought Ethan played his heart out, getting his first college start in front of 95,000, having to bump Gunner over. That's a tough deal. And I thought the young man handled it incredibly, incredibly well. There were some targeting issues. There were some missed blocks at the point of attack. And there's some things we got to look at schematically as coaches when people are doing certain things to be able to take advantage of it. A little bit of a byproduct of what we're doing right now is a lack of execution. So we're trying to keep the things going that we believe we can execute as clean as possible. We know there's other things out there, but if we can't execute it cleanly in practice, we're not going to call them in games. So it's kind of on all of us. Just continue to give our guys a great plan and get the guys to work their butts off to execute it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks. Travel home safe. Thanks a lot.